I got sick this weekend. I think it was a result of all the stuff I was pulling up.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
No fever, but chills and achiness, and it's past now. But
Okay.
boy, that was incredible. It really was. And I did a card pull
Uh-huh.
from the Wisdom of the Oracle card deck,
Mm-hmm.
using the questions that you sent to me, and
Yeah.
that was amazing. It really was.
So you got some good feedback there and connection.
Yeah, I did. And it was so unusual, especially with my father, who was where all of the tension, everything coming from my father was red and zigzag. uh,
Okay.
but what is being suppressed in him that needs to be expressed uh, was the taste of prosperity, milk and honey.
Mm.
Isn't that something? It
So
just
there's like poverty consciousness, you would say?
um, his family was well off. My mother's family was the one that was in poverty, but
Okay.
they always made do. They weren't poverty conscious.
Okay.
They learned to enjoy what they had.
Mm.
And he came from a wealthy family, and he was always worried that he was going to run out of money, even though his father bailed him out all the time.
Isn't that interesting?
It was very interesting. So I really enjoyed this exercise. It was very
That's great.
liberating for me, but as I said, it brought up a lot. I am able to look at, and I found out a lot more. I got the whole family talking.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well,
Uh,
that's the whole thing, right? The whole
yeah,
point of the exercise is to bring everything into awareness. Because if you're not aware, then that's all running everything, right? Like once you're aware, now you get to choose.
yeah.
Yep.
So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And, body temperature changing, all that, those symptoms, those are quite normal when you're working with energy, especially releasing and processing, because everything's kept within that, right? Like, I know last week after we did the meditation as a group, I could barely keep it together after that because I connected myself with my aunt and it was very unexpected. And I was tremoring. Like afterwards, I was like, really like, that's why I was like, probably the way I was because I was shaking. And then I was trying to hold it together. And then once we ended, I let it all out.
Wow.
So that's normal, right? Like we do keep it in our body, our muscles have memory, right? They're just,
that's true.
it just continues. Mm-hmm. So, you can imagine what's been, what our ancestors have gone through, the trauma, it's being held within the DNA, within everything. It's within your energy field. And so if that's coming into awareness, that's your opportunity now that you're able to look at it. First of all, that changes things. Just being aware of it already shifts your perception, right? That's healing in itself. And then you take it one step further. You allow yourself to feel it, right? And then your body might shake, you tremor. You're just processing it. It's normal. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't feel good. You always feel sick before you feel better, right?
Well, pregnancy doesn't feel good either.
What's that?
Pregnancy doesn't feel good either. But
yes. That's true.
That's true.
That is so true. Yeah. Growing pains, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Very nice. Looks like we have, hi Colette.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
And I think Artie's on too.
Yes, I am. Yep.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Fancy
good.
already.
Yeah, your video's off.
Yes, it is on purpose this time.
You're eating popcorn?
No more popcorn.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone had quite the laugh.
Yeah.
So they're chomping away.
So today is like more of an open discussion, right? Like I'm here for you, and we're going to go through, I've recorded the meditation. It's 24.5 minutes. So we're going to allow ourselves that time to actually get into the actual energy work and the transmutation. While the meditation is going on, I am going to hold space, energetic space. I'm going to be holding that intention for everybody who's listening right now in the present moment, as well as in the future. Like whenever you're going to do, if you do this again, right, it will all be, that space will be held energetically. I'll be sending Reiki and everything to allow what needs to be released, release all the blocks, open up the flow, and get the energy moving for your highest good. So that's what we're doing today. So right now we can just, like if anybody wants to share how their week has gone. I know Valley shared. So if anybody else wanted to take the spotlight and, talk about their experience, it's all open.
I just came to light actually after our class, and I know I mentioned it to you too, which was my relationship with, and we talked about this last week too, was my relationship with my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Is the same as her dad's relationship with his cousin. Him being the younger one, and his cousin's older, and I'm being the older one, and she's the younger one, just like her dad.
Oh,
And
same dynamics.
It's the same, like it's a repeating process, and I'm like, I didn't do anything, and I know she's going through her wedding right now, but she's just like bridezilla right now. And all of us cousins, everyone's kind of staying far away from her. So we're like, but I noticed, and I didn't realize until like I started piecing things together when I made the charts. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't notice it from the charts, but I really focused and put my entire attention to our family. That's when I realized, like, oh my gosh, it dawned upon me that same pattern is repeating over and over again with her father and his cousin and her and me. So
okay. So how did that shift anything for you, just that realization?
it just, no, actually it didn't.
Okay.
To be honest, it didn't.
Yeah.
It just made me realize that, okay, well, it's the same pattern repeating. The
Mm-hmm.
way her dad is exactly the same way as her. They don't trust anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, I think, and I'm not saying I trust everybody. I also have a trust issue as well. But I find that I think she's in that same boat. She thinks everyone's out to get her. And my uncle feels the same way.
So there's trust issues that are running.
Yeah.
And today, is that part of your intention to release that?
I do, because I have an issue with trust as well. I don't trust people. I don't trust people's intentions. And I do want to release that, because it's been holding, the trust and the anger has been holding me back. So especially, I have little kids, and I want to make sure that I'm the best mother possible. So, and sometimes I kind of lose it, and I'm like, oh gosh. Then afterwards I have this guilty conscience, like, oh my gosh, I yelled at my kids. They probably think I'm a horrible mother. And I don't want that anymore. I just want to release the anger and release, and perhaps gain back my trust.
Okay. Did you by any chance have a conversation, like a connection with your uncle? Like, did you make an effort in any way? Like, did that cross your mind?
Like when I did that meditation?
Yeah, like even in that, because you've already identified, right, that this pattern is coming from his relationship with your...
It's funny because
it's running through that energetic cord, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, did you connect with him?
I did when I saw him in the Ancestral, like in the conference room.
Okay.
The homework that we did last week with all of us together, and all he said was, "Oh, good." And I said, "Oh, okay, that's it, just good."
Okay.
Good. Like, good job.
Okay.
And then he walked away.
Okay. It might be helpful. It might be like, you know, when we're doing the process today later on, if you are able to kind of sense from him, connect with him, and sense what it is that he needs to express, right? What it is that he didn't get, and possibly, you know, if he needs healing for something, and we ask for that, right? You can set that intention while that's all happening.
So if it goes to him, then it'll go to his daughter and yada, yada, yada.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right? Because if you're identifying that it's stemming from him, right? You two are replaying the same dynamic.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? Because that energy
it shifted. To us.
Yes.
Right.
So there's something in him that didn't get expressed fully. That's why it's coming through you two now.
Oh.
So if you have that conversation with him, possibly, right? Connect with his soul and ask him what it is that he needs to express, then you allow, honestly, you can be the medium for him to express. So I'm going to share with you last night, the meditation I recorded for us. I actually ran through it myself. Okay. Very informally. And I did the process and I connected with my mother. Right. And she was on my left, and all of a sudden I tapped into her feelings, what she was feeling through her lifetime. And it was almost like you're the container, you're the medium to allow them, now that they don't have a physical body, if you know they've moved on, they're using you now to express that emotion, that feeling that maybe in their living life they never did. So I was like convulsing, I was crying, I was like, there was just so much coming through me. And I just kept tapping, like this helps. Like if you get emotional, right, just keep tapping right here at the side of your wrist, because that helps calm your amygdala at the same time that you're processing the emotions. What we don't want to do is suppress our emotions. Okay. So if anything comes up for anybody, any trigger, allow yourself to feel it. You're the body, you're the medium, you're the one that can process all of this, right? Even if it's coming from your ancestors, allow yourself, because they didn't feel it. That's why it's coming through now. And it's creating the same problems, the same dynamics, you know, and this is how we help them heal. They can use us in a way, instead of doing it, you know, when we're unconscious of it and we're reactive, right? We consciously allow them that energy to move through us.
Okay.
Does it? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I hope that makes sense to everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else want to share anything?
I'll share something. I was just going, like, I have a very large family on both sides, but my one aunt that I didn't care for, she said to me, I'm still a bitch.
Oh. See, their personalities don't change, right? Their energy stays the same.
Yeah, it was funny anyway.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh.
And how did that make you feel?
I thought I believe it because she was very nasty. You know, when I knew her, she was not a nice person, but she wasn't nice to anyone. She was very miserable. And but the rest of her family was not like that. Like her sisters were not like that. So I'm not sure what happened with her, but definitely she had issues. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just interesting. Yeah, because like I said, the rest of her family was not like that. And but basically, when I went through both sides of my family and seen them, like, you know, person kind of thing, they all gave really good messages, you know, very positive, very good messages. So
maybe again, it's all about that conversation, because when you're connecting, you want more, you want to break through, right? Like it's almost like when I hear you speaking about her, I want to ask her, what is it that you know, that you're holding on to, that you need to let go of? Right? Because there's something I feel through you, you know, tuning into her response to you and how she is, there's something, you know, it's like,
Right.
like, what is she hanging on to? Like, because, you know, when we
What is that
do,
about?
pardon me?
Like, what is that about?
Yes. So maybe that's something that you can, you know, connect further and get an impression. I mean, sometimes it's not, you know, everybody's abilities, however you receive information, you might get just a feeling, oh, okay, this is what it was really about. Maybe, you know, this is what she needs healing. Because honestly, it's all about healing at the
Right.
end, right? Like anybody who's behaving in an unloving way is a call for healing.
Mm-hmm.
They're crying for something.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can just kind of, you know, be that, because you're the change maker now,
Right.
right? They're
Yeah.
gone.
Mm-hmm.
They're
I was
gone.
thinking maybe
Yeah.
she felt isolated and that's why she was angry.
There's
That's what I'm
you,
getting.
yeah.
Could be. Yeah.
And if you tap into her, like if you try any of those exercises, you know, you can use oracle cards, you can do automatic writing, you can just, actually you can do chair exercise. You can put a chair in front of you, ask your aunt, sit on the chair, let's have a conversation. What's this about?
Right.
Right? And have her energy sit on the chair
Yeah.
and just talk to her. See,
Right.
and then you wait for her energy in the chair to respond back to you.
Mm.
Do you do close your eyes for that, Jazz? Or
Yeah, you can. I always close my eyes. I feel like once we close our eyes, it's more like you're in tune with your inner guidance more strongly. Like for me, it is. I mean, some people can do it with their eyes open too. Certain things I do, but if I really want to connect, I close my eyes.
okay.
Yeah. And what you can even do if you're not feeling that connection, once you place her energy on a chair in front of you, you can actually go and sit in her chair too, to get a sense, like if you pick up more with your physical body, sit in her energy and see what comes up for you.
Oh.
Yeah. Because then it'll feel different. Because once you've already, your consciousness is aware that her energy is there, that's her space, then you can go and sit down in her energy too and sense what you're pulling from it.
That's kind of freaky.
That is kind of freaky.
But or if you're comfortable, right? Like there's different ways of doing it. You don't have to. If she's conversing with you back and forth, you know, I guess whatever anybody wants to do, right? I mean, I do. I just keep going. Yeah. With things. So whatever you're comfortable with. But that's an avenue, because the fact that you are her descendant, her energy is affecting you now. So our intention today is all about, you know, healing our ancestors, allowing them to express, because if they're not expressing and they're blocked and they're blocking us from our expression, right? Because they're running on automatic pilot behind, and we need to allow their expression through before we can fully open up and express ourselves.
So what does that feel like? When you have worked through it, do you feel like you have more mental real estate?
When you have what?
Do you feel like you have more mental real estate?
When you do what? I didn't hear you. You broke up.
When you feel through that person's whatever they're trying to express, once you feel that, what does that do?
What does that do? It's freeing.
Freeing like mentally, or freeing emotionally, or?
For me, it's not necessarily mental. I think everybody will experience it differently. But for me, like for example, last night when I allowed my mom to come through and release, and I just felt for her and I tapped away, it's really strange, because I actually saw her body transforming. Like she actually looked taller, slimmer to me. It's almost like layers and layers that she was putting on through her lifetime, you know, was falling off. And then after that, like after the tears were gone and I felt, you know, what was released, I felt very peaceful. That's what it felt like to me. It was like a peace. It was very calming. So peace, I guess you can say it's mental, right? Like it's just a peaceful feeling, and just like all is well, like that type of feeling.
I remember when my mama was dying, I had asked her to let me to be with her. And she had told me that her mother told her when she was at this point that she would see her mother. She would come back and see her. And she was telling me that when I'm at that point, she will come see me. And the next morning she woke up and she said, I didn't see my mother. I saw your father. And they'd been divorced like for 40 years by then. And he had tried to murder her. So I was surprised. And my first thought was, what the hell is he doing in heaven? And then she said, I saw him without his addictions and without his illness, and he was magnificent.
Yeah.
And that blew me away.
Yeah.
It still does. It still does. And I would like to, and I've seen glimpses of him as she saw him. But what it did do for me is it told me that she still loved him. She saw him like nobody else saw him.
Mm-hmm.
And,
but I also wonder what it did for her in the moment when he showed up like that.
Oh, she died the next day, but she was very peaceful and beautiful.
Exactly.
She was holding my Papa Bear's hand and looking at him, and she had the phone to her ear. She had her pastor bless the phone so that we would know how easy it was to talk to her.
So it sounds like peace is the common theme, right?
Yeah, very peaceful.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
And peace is a very high vibration. That's what it's like, right? When we're enlightened, if we look at that chart, remember my first class, the vibrational levels, right? Peace is all the way above, like love there, right? Joy, peace.
So is that what we will get when we see our trouble?
I believe so. The more you release, if you go back to that first analogy that I gave everybody, I walked you through the meditation, the bubble meditation, right? So every emotion that's part of our energetic system is blocking our energy flow, right? Simple as that. So every ancestor, their life experience, whatever that energy they carried, is part of our energetic system too. So it's doing something to our flow. And the more we release that, we allow them to heal. The more we heal, that's how we rise vibrationally. So that's what we're doing. By healing, we all are rising, right? So when they say raise the vibration of the planet, that's how you do it, right? One by one person at a time, one experience at a time, one healing at a time. We are allowing life force to just kind of flow through us, because with all these emotions, especially traumatic emotions, shame, anger, all of that emotion, it keeps us down. It keeps us blocked. Life force can't flow through us. That's how we get sick. There's so many problems. Anger, all these emotions are lower, they say, vibration, right? It resonates at a lower level. So the more we allow them to just express and move through us, the more we're actually rising. That's why you feel peace, you feel calm, you feel just love, higher vibrational emotions afterwards. But sometimes it does. It feels uncomfortable as you release them. That's when you tremor, you shake, you can get hot, you can get really cold, right? Your body has a reaction. Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I'm actually doing this work, because I know it helps. Every little bit helps, right? And every time you go back to it, every layer, you're gonna rise and rise and rise. Every time you heal something, right? It doesn't happen overnight either sometimes, but sometimes it can be very profound. Yeah. Anybody else want to share anything?
I'll talk.
Please.
All I can say is I found some interesting information about my grandmother had written about all her ancestors on her side. So I just thought it was really fascinating because I was reading all these notes that she had written, and I don't know, I guess I connect a little differently, but I did my little pendulum thing, and I set up a chart and with everybody's name on it, and pretty much everybody that I knew, my grandparents and one of my great grandmas came through, and I asked them all the questions that you had given us on each one at a time. This is a really long meditation.
Yeah, no,
And
that's okay.
yeah, and it was really amazing how it kind of just flowed. But I mean, the pendulum actually did point on who was there. I just thought it was really fascinating. But
Wow.
yeah, I don't know, but it seemed like after that, I just have been. This was yesterday, and I just felt really, really surrounded and loved. So, but
That's beautiful.
yeah, I mean, they were telling me. I mean, I asked them your questions, and I was finding, like, you know, my grandpa was saying abandonment for, you know, what the ancestors wanted, you know, what they would want us to heal most, and I just kind of went through each question that you had posed, and it was just, I don't know, it was just really interesting how it went to, you know, and I don't know if people do it that way, but that was, I just
It doesn't
tried.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pendulums work.
it was just the way that I could connect, since I seem to have a little bit more trouble getting through sometimes, but I feel them. So
Everybody connects differently, Sherry. Yeah. So you have to go with what works for you. Pendulum works for you. Use the pendulum.
I know,
right?
it's like worked wonderful. So yeah.
I use, like in the beginning, I used the pendulum. I used cards. I fluctuate between whatever I'm drawn to. Yeah. I mean, and then I just use myself. I don't use anything a lot of times either, right? So
hopefully I
sometimes
can do that
even
someday.
even art. If you just do, like, automatic writing is almost like a form of it might take its own shape.
Yeah, I tried the writing thing, but nothing came.
Yeah, that's okay. That takes practice, though. It doesn't happen right away. You have to really kind of be very loose about it. You can't use your mental mind, otherwise it'll take over.
Yeah,
so
it didn't work for me at all. So
yeah.
Anyway,
well, you know what? I'm happy you connected and you feel them and you feel loved, right? That's important.
Yeah.
And that's part of your experience, and that's real. Yeah. Don't doubt yourself. Yeah.
Thanks, Jazz.
You're welcome. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else? Artie, do you have anything to say?
No, I don't have anything. I'm just listening to everyone. It's just interesting.
Okay. All right. So if there's nothing else, then if you're all ready, we can move into the meditation.
Should we shut our lights?
Yeah, you know what? You guys can all take your video cameras off and mute yourself. And I just wanted to mention, if you have a candle burning, that would be a great idea. And I would set my intentions. You can write them down. Sometimes when you write it down, it makes it even stronger. After the meditation, if you want to share, you can, but I do understand, because I went through this last night and I was really, fragile. So some of you might not want to stick around and talk, and that's understandable. If you do, I'll be here. Otherwise, what I would recommend after the meditation is drink lots of water. I also wanted to mention, it's kind of weird now because I don't see anybody. Hopefully everybody's listening. Is that once the meditation is done, if you really want to take the ritual further, you can have a real fire. You can collect things that represent the energy of your ancestral shadows, right? You can choose something. You can say, you know, you can write everything down on a paper and just physically burn that. You can have actually objects. I don't know if anybody has objects of certain ancestors. Maybe that can represent something that you're releasing or their energy if it wasn't suitable. So that's something you can do further, you know, beyond this energetic meditation release. You can actually take it into a real fire and do the burning and anchor it even fully like that. So I just wanted to mention that. So everybody ready? I will be shutting off my camera too.
Ready.
Ready? Okay, perfect. Oops. Let's begin by taking a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. I want you to feel the connection to the earth. Imagine roots growing from the soles of your feet like a tree digging deep into the earth. The roots go deeper and deeper, anchoring you deep into the core of the earth. Once you sense this groundedness, I want you to take your awareness to the crown of your head. From above, sense a healing light beginning to pour through your crown chakra, filling your forehead, your head, your face, ears, down through your throat, filling your shoulders, your arms. This light moves down through the front of your body and the back, filling your chest and back and stomach, filling your hips, down through your legs, through your knees, through your calves, through your ankles, filling your feet, and down into the earth. Now I want you to invite a protective white light to stream through your entire physical body, front, back, sides, just filling your entire aura with protection. As we take a journey into a magical space where we're going to meet your ancestors. I want you to envision a safe space out in nature somewhere. You arrive here with the intention to call on your ancestors to join you. They're all going to join you today to free the ancestral lineage from all karma that is holding your bloodline back from its highest and truest expression. State your intention to yourself and call in your ancestors. On your left-hand side, sense all the ancestors from your mother's bloodline come join you, beginning with your mother, and then beside her is her mother, and then beside her is her mother, and all the generations above, all the way to the very first matriarch of the entire mother's bloodline. On your right-hand side, I want you to sense your entire father's bloodline come and join you, beginning with your father, and then his father, and his father, and all the generations above, all the way to the very first father patriarch of the entire bloodline.
I love you.
They have all joined you today to release the karmic shadows, to release the emotional traumas, to release all blocks to their soul's true expression, to release all the vows and beliefs that are holding your lineage back from realizing its highest and greatest potential. We all gather here together today with this intention. I want you to now call on divine guidance and divine energy to come assist in this process now. You may sense a guide or an angel or a divine being standing with you who has come to facilitate this healing of your bloodline. This divine being appears with a large velvet sack. He or she comes and stands in front of your mother, who is standing to your left. This sack is wide open, and it is being used to collect all the shadows and all the energy that will be released from your ancestors. As this divine being stands in front of your mother, he or she prompts her to release her karmic shadows, any emotional traumas, any vows that she made that don't serve your ancestry, any blocks to expression she is holding on to. Sense this energy move from your mother, and it moves into this sack. You may just know this. You may actually see an energy move into the sack. You may feel it. Just witness it happening. Once your mother releases everything that no longer serves your ancestry, the divine being moves on to your grandmother. He or she prompts her to release all energy she is holding on to that is creating a disturbance in your bloodline. Sense this energy move from her into the sack. The divine being now moves along the entire bloodline of your mother's side, collecting all karmic shadows into this sack. Once your mother's side is complete, all the way to the eldest of all mothers, releasing all that is no longer needed, all that has burdened all the mothers, all the women in your ancestry, all the grief, all the trauma, all the sadness, all that's been holding them down energetically. It's all being released into the sack. See it happening. Next, the divine being moves in front of your father, prompting him to release all karmic shadows, emotional trauma, vows and beliefs that do not serve your lineage. See this energy move from your father into the sack, releasing all that's been weighing him down. As you see the energy move, you may feel how free he's feeling to release this burden finally. Next, the divine being moves with this sack in front of your grandfather and prompts him to release what he's been holding on to. The divine being takes this sack and continues to move to every father in this bloodline, all the way to the eldest. Witness each one releasing the energy that blocks the flow of consciousness and pure expression through your entire lineage. Take a few moments to allow this to happen. Notice what's being released. What shadows are being released? Watch them leave one by one, every ancestor, and into the sack. Once all your ancestors have released that which no longer serves the highest good of your entire lineage, The divine being ties up this sack nice and tight and walks towards a pile of wood that is in front of you. As you look to your left, you see a torch being passed down from the eldest matriarch all the way down the line to you. This torch has been passed down to you so that you may transmute the family karma now. You take this torch in your hands and you feel the honor of doing this profound work. You look towards your father. He touches the torch and smiles at you, blessing you with the honor to clear and transmute the karmic shadows released from your father's bloodline. As you look past your father, you notice all your forefathers smiling back at you with blessings. You feel good. You take the torch and you walk towards the wood pile. You look at the divine being and you set the pile of wood on fire. The divine being is holding the sack that is carrying the energy of all the shadows that your family and ancestors have been carrying for generations. Together, you and the divine being take this sack and you place it on the fire. You stand back and you watch with your ancestors, all witnessing this sack being burned. As the sack burns, the energy is transmuted. You see the colors of the fire change from red to orange to yellow. The blazing fire turns to green. You hear crackling and the energy just blasting, taking on the color of blue. And then it turns into purple and then white. As it burns through, everything is transmuted. All you can see now is magnificent, colorful flames. Once the fire dies, all that is left is ashes and dirt. You watch as everything cools down and there's nothing left.
The divine being gives you a basket of seeds. You look down at these seeds and you notice that these seeds are magical. They will grow anything you want. These seeds represent all that you want to pass on to the generations to come after you, and all that you want to express through your own energetic imprint. You get to choose what you want to plant for your future and that of your children's. You smile at the divine being for blessing you with such beautiful seeds. You take the seeds and one by one you place them over the ashes. And as you place each one, you state what each one represents for you. What do you choose? Take a few moments to choose what you want to grow. Will you plant love, abundance, happiness, beauty, wisdom, integrity? What do you choose to plant? As you do this, your ancestors watch you and they begin to dig a little bit of earth with their hands. They grab a handful of earth, and once you are done scattering your seeds, they take the earth and they one by one place it over the seeds with blessings and with love and with the intention for them to grow for the future. Once they are covered with earth, the divine being sprinkles sparkling water all over the seeds and the earth. As you look above into the sky, you notice a golden energy and light. It showers down on you, all your ancestors, and your newly planted garden. Feel this light blessing you and filling you with love. As you look around, you notice your ancestors beaming with light. They're smiling with happiness. They hold much love in their hearts for you. You smile and you thank your ancestors for releasing all the karmic shadows today. You thank them for joining you today to clear all these karmic shadows. And you thank the divine being for assisting the entire process. Take a deep breath in and come back into your body completely. Feel yourself in your body. You're back in the present moment, in your present space. Slowly open your eyes and give thanks.
I know everybody's going to be processing still. So, I mean, I understand if anybody wants to stick around and speak, you can. Otherwise, you can just take this time and continue with the release, you know, with the processing. Yeah, I'm here though if you have any questions or if you wanted to say anything. How was it?
It was amazing.
Okay.
Totally amazing.
I'm glad. It's a lot of work. I mean, I'm not going to explain it to you, you know, intellectually. This is energy work. So what you're working with is energy right now, and that'll take time. You'll see shifts happening. You'll be processing. You know, you can share on the forum too if anything comes up.
Can I
Yeah,
share
sure.
now?
Of course. If you're okay with it. I just know
Sure.
I was very fragile.
No,
So,
no,
yeah.
it was a beautiful, like I could feel the shift. I could feel the energy transmutation. Like I could see all the old coming off my mom, like, you know, our ancestors, everybody. It was all this
Yeah.
black energy that was coming off of them. And as it
Mm-hmm.
was coming off of them, they were getting thinner.
That's what I saw too. My mom got taller and thinner. I was like, I don't understand.
I didn't see my mom get taller, but I just noticed that, like,
Yeah.
she got thinner, and then my dad got thinner, and my dad became young.
Yes, I saw
Like
the
my
same
parents, my
thing.
parents got young again. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then,
Wow.
and the thing is, the other thing I wanted to mention is that the guide or angel that was helping me, it was like he was like, I don't know if you want to call it a guide or angel, but I wasn't able to see his face, or he wasn't letting me see his face.
That's okay.
And I was said, that's fine. But all I saw were his hands,
Mm-hmm.
and he was wearing a white robe.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it was wings or something, but I just know that it was a he.
Okay.
But the funny thing is, at times, is that the energy came of my husband.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but at times it was not. So it was like in and out. It was really different.
That's interesting. It's almost like you're picking up a similarity in energy, right? So
Yeah.
that's what it feels like to me. So there's obviously probably a common theme there between the guide that's helping you and possibly your husband.
So
That's how I sense it.
Okay.
Yeah, so they might have a similar role to play in your life. I mean, obviously your guide is your guide, right?
Uh-huh.
Who's helping
Yeah.
with the ancestral clearing.
Yeah.
And it feels like you're picking up on a similarity in their energy. there's a similarity, right? There's
Yeah.
the essence is what I'm trying to say. The essence of it.
Exactly. Yes.
So the role they play in your life may be
dissimilar, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
and that because my husband's like tall and strong, and I got that same feeling from this other individual, and sometimes it was my husband and sometimes it wasn't. So it was really different. And then just like when you said everyone, smile, like I saw smiling faces, and is a sense of relief.
Yeah. Relief. And how did you feel at the end?
Like it was a sense of peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and I have like an unsettled sense in my stomach right now.
Yeah. And
overheating right now.
Drink water. I mean, it's still going to work through. It's not that you're done. No.
Yeah.
It'll take, some time to work through. Yeah. Because remember, you're welcome. We are shifting the vibration of your whole ancestry. Mm-hmm. That's what you're doing. You're the game changer, right? You're changing the way things have been going. Mm-hmm. So energetic shifts will make their way through in the physical form. Like, it takes longer. Energy moves fast. Mm-hmm. And then eventually your form has to catch up. So then that's why we sometimes feel like, oh, we don't feel so good a few days later, right? Mm-hmm. Because now your body is kind of adjusting to the new vibration, the new shift.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So it was, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Does anybody else want to say anything?
It's totally peaceful. I mean, I saw the black too when you were talking about the energy being released into the bag. I could see the black.
Yeah.
And then, but it's total peace.
That's beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
When you brought us back, I sneezed, and when I opened my eyes, I realized I'd been crying. My eyes were spilling.
Sneezing, sometimes they say that's a release too, right? And crying is releasing. It's I don't see you anymore, Valley. I think your camera went off, but
I don't know what I did to it.
How did you feel?
I felt like my skin was buzzing.
Okay.
And I also heard some high humming.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that much.
That's okay. You felt it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The high humming, the skin buzzing. Yeah. It's energy moving. I feel like that sometimes when I'm really in touch with, on an energetic level, with everything that's around me. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if, sometimes your ancestors are blending with you too, right? Sometimes that happens. So we're not just like processing, like we are processing for them, but their energy is blending with ours in order to process also. So sometimes we feel it a lot, right? The buzzing and sensations. It could be that it's not just you.
I also seen the black as well.
Yeah.
My father was actually vomiting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which is quite gross.
I actually saw that. I sensed that when the work was being done. Like, I sensed somebody puking. That's interesting.
Yeah, he was actually vomiting, and he was actually quite ill when he died.
Okay.
So that could have been the purging of, the sickness.
Mm-hmm. So it went all in the sack and it's been transmuted,
Yes.
Perfect.
right? So it went there. Exactly.
Jazz,
So whatever.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Just to confirm, ancestors is just also your parents that may be living, correct?
Yes, yes. Anybody who came before you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
Whether
can be
they're
living.
alive, living or dead.
Yeah. They can be alive or dead. It doesn't matter.
Okay, good.
Because when we're doing this work, I know like a lot of us have living parents, right?
Yeah.
But their soul is present. Their energy is present. You're calling on that part, right?
Yeah.
So the work is affecting everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize.
No, that's okay. Go on, Colette.
No, that's all I had to say. Like I said,
Yeah.
I seen the darkness.
Yeah.
Going
How
on.
did you feel afterwards? Did you feel any shift?
I just really, really peaceful.
Peaceful.
And I also had a angel with me, which was a
Mhm.
male
Yeah.
with big white wings
Oh,
Mhm.
and
wow.
white hair.
Wow.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That
Maybe
is.
we had the same one, Colette.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Artie, did you want to share anything or?
I just felt it was really peaceful.
Okay.
That's what I had. I didn't have any experiences the way the girls did, but I did feel really peaceful with it. And I think the thing is I got disrupted here because there's a lot of movement in the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm at my
Yeah.
parents', so
Oh, okay.
it's
Yeah.
very
So it's not your sacred space in a sense.
no,
So
no.
yeah, that would affect it, but you can do this meditation again when you're on your own. And like I don't know if everybody heard. So after this, just to anchor it further, if you do have anything that you want to release further, like physical objects that you might be holding on to of your ancestors, or anything that might represent something, and you have an actual real fire, you can do that. You can, if there's any remnants that you feel that still need to be, processed again, you can write down things, you can write down letters, intentions of releasing shadows, whatever you've discovered through your digging, and you can actually burn it for real and release it. I mean, this was real. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying if you further feel the need to do it more with physical objects, you can do that. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad everybody was, many of you were able to do this live, and I don't want to, say that the recording doesn't work. It works fully because the intention is what creates the energetic space to work, right? So even though I'm here with you physically now in this time space, it's been programmed that anytime anybody listens to the process and works through it, the same intentions are encompassing that meditation to allow the release to happen and the work to be done. Yeah.
Great.
So you can do it again if you want to. Yeah. Because sometimes, you might connect with some of your ancestors more, you see it more, and you need to go back and you connect with more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And you can repeat the process. Also, I know the way I did it was like mothers and then fathers all on one line. If you, want to incorporate physically others like cousins or, like uncles and aunts, you can do that. Although it's the same DNA, the whole thing is it works. It shifts with everybody because the DNA everybody carries is the same. Once you change one, everybody changes. Like you don't have to do it that way. But you can, is what I'm saying, if you feel the need, if you have specific issues happening and that you want to, work on them a little bit more. I just wanted to open that up, that you can be creative with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
So so I'll see you all next week then, next Monday, and we're going to dive into the essence, your potential, your soul expression. So that's what it's going to be about next week.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, you're welcome. All
That's
right.
good.
Take care. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. All right.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.